Good morning, grandkids. Well, I came up with several things to chat about today. So first, I'm going to start with the fact that I just got back from getting my hair cut before somebody asked me. I did have somebody once say, Grandma, did you just get your hair cut? Yeah, it's a little shorter or uncurled or something than I usually have it, but we'll deal with it, won't we? And you guys out there don't care anyway, and it's just for the girls. Um, the other thing I wanted to mention was, I had been complaining about my headset that I couldn't hear voices. I can hear the rest of the gameplay, but I can't hear the voices in mine or when I'm watching someone else's video, which is really weird. And I thought it might be wires loose in my headset, and I still haven't changed to the new one yet. But I thought, well, maybe something's wrong with it plugged in over there in the computer. So I traced my wire over there, and it runs through a bunch of other cables that my son has a thing wrapped around to hold them. And so I followed it through that and over there, and it, I wasn't pulling the mouse and pulling that cord because it's held tight in there. But I followed it to where it's plugged in, and it's in there, but I wiggled it and it went in some more. It was loose, had come loose because it hadn't been loose. And it doesn't come loose by pulling on the mouse because it's held too tight in that bunch of cables. So I pushed it in, and the sound was perfectly okay. So I think that's kind of weird, though, that it affects only the commentary. It doesn't affect any of the sounds in the video game. Creepy, I think. So the next thing I had on my list to talk about is Ark. Now, I had changed. I had ended the one Ark that I was playing on either the island or center. I forget which I was on. Because all the resources quit respawning and all the dinos quit respawning. And so I got tired of just wandering around with nothing to do once I got my base all built up. So I quit that game, remember, and I started on Ragnarok. So I'd been playing along okay on there, except I've been dying a lot. But now the resources are still respawning just fine, but there's no dinos. There's not even any dodo birds. Except for that hateful critter across the water that destroyed me and my dino, that stupid thing that floats around in the air, but it's like a fish, and you told me what it was, but I forgot what you said. And I haven't looked it up on that sheet that lists all the dinos and their pictures and their names. I got that over on the other monitor, but I just didn't open it. Anyway, so now I'm at a critical point in that game. My dino that I had tamed, I had 2 of them tamed finally. So I took the high level one out, and we was going around that water so that I could get over there to the other side to where I had to leave my raft that I carry my dino on the top, and so that I could get him up there and get the raft back home. Well, the raft isn't there. I think that thing destroyed it, or something did. It's not there. And that crazy thing came around the corner of the lake, and it's only a level 8, and my dino was like at a level, I forget if he was in 70s or 80s or 90s, but he was a high level. For me, he was a high level. And that thing totally wrecked him and me. And I kept going back to get my body, and it just kept killing me. I didn't even get to get the saddle off my dino. And now it won't even give me the green light showing where my pack is of stuff. So I've lost everything again. So I went back home, respawned in my bed at home. I made me a bunch of everything again and went back around there. I've done that several times and died every time. So I'm finished with that game. I don't even know if I'll play it for myself anymore. And when I log on, it keeps showing that new one. I forget the name of that new one that the guys are playing now. Extinction. Arc Extinction. And the music for it is playing. My wonderful Arc music that I used to just sit and listen to before I started playing the game isn't there. And I don't even care about this one. And in the game, my Ragnarok game, that music for Extinction is playing. So that upset me. So I'm not going to be recording that anymore. I'm through with it. That's just too much trouble. I don't have time or the patience to go through that much trouble. There's other things to play. So that's the end of Arc and the reason why. Let's see. Cthulhu. So far, I'm enjoying playing Cthulhu, and I'm not going to be playing it like every other day or so because I play Skyrim every other day or so, and that's my love. But I'm enjoying Cthulhu so far. So as long as you guys are liking it and it doesn't get too tedious and boring for you, I'll keep recording it. I'm going to keep on playing it, but I'll keep on recording it as long as you keep liking it. If you get tired of it, let me know, and I won't record that one. I'll record something else, okay? The next one is Deliver Us the Moon. I had been looking forward to that for so long, ever since the developers sent me the demos, and which I loved. When you got to the end of the demo and opened those doors, and there you could just walk out on the moon. There was the Earth up in the sky. It was beautiful. It was breathtaking. It raised the hair on the back of my neck. I loved it, and I thought that was going to be in the game. But then when the game came out, they got it to where you're up here in this station, and you have to go through so much stuff, which was so hard for me, because you only have so many seconds to do something, which I think was a little foolish. That just is not enough seconds. I mean, there's not everybody that plays games fast and swift like the young kids. And games should be for everybody. This is what I keep trying to stress on my channel. Games are for anybody capable of playing them and enjoying them. I don't care what their age is. But a couple or 3 more seconds in there for things would have certainly been better. So now I'm out in space with all this debris, trying to make my way back to where it blew out so that I can get in that elevator chair and get down the elevator to the moon. And then you don't get to walk out those big doors and there's the moon. So it took away that awe moment in the game for me. So I'm keeping on trying to do that part that I keep missing all the time, Now I've gone through 2 videos recording that, and that's boring. That's boring. So I can't keep recording that. So I have to keep trying and keep trying. As soon, if I ever make it to that point again, Snow Walker, one of my subscribers, has been helping me now every step of the way to get me back to there. It's been so helpful, he or she. And now I know that when I get back to that end where the chair is at, I'm not supposed to be trying to get in the chair. There's a red button there, he said, that as soon as I get there, push it. And that'll take over and do its own thing. So that's what I'm going to be practicing on all week. And as soon as I get to that point to hit that red button, I'll hit the record button. Okay? And we'll go on from there and see what happens. But if I can't get that done, if I try over and over this week and can't get that done, then that will have to be the end of Deliver Us the Moon too, because I'm not going to keep recording that over and over and over. And I need like 2-3 more seconds. Now, the developers said that they did a lot of research, that they wanted to make it as authentic an experience as possible. Well, I'm sorry, but I think of a lot of the things that you had to do in that place, an astronaut being sent up there would have already become acquainted with all that stuff in a simulator, probably however many years before when they made that thing. So I thought that was a little ridiculous. You shouldn't have to go through that much trouble in order to get down to the moon. And the other thing is the oxygen in those tanks that you have to keep grabbing to get some more oxygen. I think that's a little foolish, because they would put oxygen tanks around in that place with a lot more oxygen in them for astronauts than that. Just a few seconds worth? That's a little ridiculous to me. And if it's only going to be a few seconds worth, it could have been a couple or 3 more seconds worth. So if I can't get the job done this week, then that's the end of Deliver Us the Moon also. So, because I don't have the patience for all this stuff. And there's other things to play and other things to do in my life. And I'm old and I don't have much time left. And I mean, that's reality. You know, that's reality. And I want to enjoy my time and play things that's enjoyable and not frustrating. And even my son said, Mom, do you think it's about time for you to stop playing that game, because it's just getting too frustrating for you? He knows me well. So I agree with him. So the other thing on my list is Fallout 76. Now, everybody's been asking me if I'm going to play that. Of course, everybody's been asking me for months to play Fallout 4 and all this stuff. Well, I did have a crack at it way back and made, I don't remember, 3 or 4 videos. You can check in my playlist. I wish all of you would ever check my channel and my playlist before you ask me all these things. But you don't. And I didn't like it because I like the beauty of Skyrim, and when I went into the Fallout game, it was just all of this destruction after the apocalypse, and that was depressing. And I thought, I don't want to just wander around in all this destruction and try to learn how to fix things and rebuild. And the same thing with when I was in 7 Days to Die. It's the same thing. You just You just acquire resources, make something, level up to get a better gun or a better bow or something, and kill zombies or ugly creatures. All of these apocalyptic games are the same. You do the same things, and then it's rinse and repeat all the time you play that game. So every video you make is based on the same thing. And so I've gotten so tired of watching 7 Days to Die videos that I would never play that. But it seems like the Fallout games are so similar. But when they started talking about Fallout 76, I thought I might look into that game because I live here in Virginia, and I think Virginia is beautiful, and West Virginia is pretty much the same. And I thought that'd be kind of cool to play in a terrain that you know. And I guess there's several different biomes in the 76. And I thought, well, that might be interesting if I can get out and just do things by myself. So I was kind of disappointed when they said it was going to be multiplayer only. Well, I've been watching different ones play in the early part of the game, and some of them are only into the PvP, which I'm not into at all. But once in a while I see somebody playing solo and wanting to go out and see what the map looks like. And so they have to kill something when something comes along, but they're just not swamped by other players running around them like I was in Elder Scrolls Online, which I can't play that because they just drive me crazy. So I thought, well, maybe I could have a little bit of enjoyment out of this game. And but then I looked at the price, and $59.99 for a game that I might not play very much in and then forget it. That's too much money to spend on something I'm not in love with. So I'll have to keep watching others play that for probably quite a while before I would ever even think about delving into that. So we will set that aside. Don't keep asking me to play 76 games, okay? I know what games is out there, and I know what I might and be interested in, and what I know I will never be interested in. So don't keep asking me these things. So that one's in the back of my mind. It's out there, so don't worry about it. The other thing I want to talk about is basically what I want to get across on my channel is that older players like to play games too. And developers should take that into consideration also when they're developing games. Not dumb down the games, but realize that there's going to be there's a lot of older players out there. A lot. There might not be a lot recording and putting it on YouTube, but there's a reason for that. And I've heard from them. A lot of them comment to me, and their reason. Do you remember way back when I first started my channel, and I would get such nasty comments like, "Get off of here, you don't belong here," or "Why aren't you sitting in a rocking chair knitting?" which I don't even know how and don't like. And you don't just, and really nasty, vulgar comments too. So I had to put up with that for a while at the beginning until I finally got people straightened. I would ban people. I would give them a second chance. I've had some come back and apologize until finally my channel became what it is now. It's a wonderful channel. The people on there are wonderful. I love them all. They're respectful, they're caring, and they will get on to one another if somebody gets out of line in saying something to me. So I appreciate that. I really, really do. But the thing I hear from older gamers, why they won't record, is for that very fact. They'll say, I don't want to have to put up with what you put up with. I don't want to have all that stuff said to me. I don't know how I'd be able to handle it. And so if they do upload, most of the ones that do have some silly cartoon picture and never mention their age. So everybody assumes that they're another young person playing too. And yet they're an older person. So the same people that said such derogatory things to me because I used my own picture on my channels, and I always let everybody know how old I am. And so the same ones that say derogatory things to me see these other older gamers play and just say, oh, I like your channel, and they don't even know that they're an older player. So see, and there are a few older players on YouTube that do use their picture, and that everybody does know they're old, and they are, I don't see bad comments on their channel. So I think everybody is really getting used to the fact that there are older gamers recording, and it's become a ordinary thing. And I'm glad for that. And if my channel helped do that, then I'm proud of that. And the subscribers will ask me or say, I wish I could get my grandma to play games, or my mom and dad. They don't even want to play games with their kids. And will think they think they're too old. I've had 30-year-olds say to me, I am thankful that you're gaming and you are inspiring to me, because I was feeling like I was too old to play games, and now I know I can play. It's like they've had to have been given permission to play games, and I think that's sad. The community out there should not suppress other people's gameplay because they're not like you. You know, gaming is for everyone. So that's what I hope my channel is all about and helps portray. So the other thing is this box that Joseph Green brought to me when he came to visit for the, I can't hold it up because everything will fall out of place, but he had some treasures in there. Well, I had another treasure box, this one that Camden Grimes, another subscriber, sent to me with a bunch of other treasures in it. So Joseph said he wanted me to be putting treasures in there. That's what he gave it to me for. So I did. I transferred those treasures into there, so now it's got all kinds of neat things laid out in it. And I took all my notes that keep piling up all over my desk that I was putting in a bowl here. I put them in my treasure chest, so now I know where all my notes are at. So let's see. And if you want to see that box and the contents and so on, now that I got it fixed up, you can find a couple of pictures of it and what I had to say about it on Twitter, on my Twitter channel. So be sure and look at that. I'm on there a lot. Well, every day. Let's see. The next thing is the latest video interview that I did, that I've talked about and that others have talked about. When they brought Joseph Green here to meet me and get interviewed with me and so on. That interview, and I had a lady here just argue up and down with me about, I saw that interview. And I keep trying to explain to her, no, you didn't. She said, but it had Rocky Mount sign in it, and it was on YouTube. And I said, that was that 60-second document, the first video interview that I ever did after I started recording. This one hasn't come out yet. No, that one was it. I should know. I was one that was in the video. Anyway, this one hasn't come out yet. And they assured me that, and Joseph, that they would send us links to it when it does, that we can share on all of our media outlets, like they will also. So you guys will all know when that's available. And believe me, I'll let you know, because I'm going to be excited to see it, because they did a lot of filming, and I'm anxious to see how they edit it, what gets left in, what gets taken out, and so on. Okay, so that is all my notes. So after I get through with this, I'm going to go in there and start cooking me something for dinner this evening. I'm going to have a pork roast. And then I will start practicing on Deliver Us the Moon and see how far I get. And right now, at the end of this, I'm going to do something that various ones have been asking me to do for quite a while, and something totally outdated by now, I'm sure. So is that a dab? And is this a grandma double dab? So you let me know. So I will see you guys all later in the next video. Bye-bye.